Well, that was just wonderful, and I'm just giddy to be here. I think it's fair to say that. I want to start off by, first of all, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Connie. Love calling her Connie. And I'll just say, to start, that first of all, well, as you heard, I do multi-character performances in the theatre, so I portray people of various different ethnicities. And when I was asked to join this celebration, and I know about the diversity that, that's sort of what characterizes the New York Women's Foundation, but I have to say that I sort of thought, well, but still, this is one of the most kind of inspired and progressive organizations of its kind, and kind of helping women and families empower themselves throughout this great city. And among the distinguished honorees and participants are kind of some of the most important philanthropists and activists, and of course figures in journalism. I mean, this is these are heavy hitters here, and what could I sort of have to say that would add to an event like that? And so I thought perhaps a very theatrical sounding English accent might give me some gravitas. And then I thought, no, I just have to get up there and just be myself. Well, yes, I'm just going to talk the way I really talk. After all, the New York Women's Foundation is all about helping its grantee partners speak up for justice and equality in their own authentic voices. So I am going to speak in this way. Actually, I do speak the Queen's English. I'm from Queens, New York, as many of you know. Yay! One of the many boroughs in which the New York Women's Foundation is having its impact all these years. And I want to say in all sincerity and with my real voice, what a deep honor it is to be joining you tonight. And I've brought along some friends from my Broadway show and other performances who are equally excited to be here. And I'll just tell you, they are all loosely based on people from my real life, starting with my multicultural family. On my mom's side, my grandmother was Irish American and German American. And we have both Christians and Jews on that side of the family. It's a long story filled with intrigue and interfaith guilt. And then on my grandfather's side were Caribbean roots, and there's some Dominicans thrown in there for good measure. My father's side of the family is all African American. So we like to say, if you shake the family tree, God only knows who's going to fall out. But the wonderful thing about coming from a family like that is I see the same beautiful dynamic in the New York Women's Foundation, that cross-cultural family. And so here we are tonight, from our diverse family to yours. We just wanted to pay tribute. Let's just say they're all so excited. They've each prepared their own remarks. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. To see here. Oh, wonderful. Okay. You work this thing here. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. This is so wonderful to be here, although I have to tell you, if you've never heard your own voice coming out of a microphone, it's a living nightmare. But it's okay. It's worth it to be here with all of you this evening. Hi, sweetheart. Okay. My name is Lorraine Levine, and I'm so thrilled and so honored to be here with all of you. And we're celebrating, of course, the New York Women's Foundation. Isn't it delightful? 25 years, okay. 25th birthday. Okay, yes. That's right. And, I want to start by saying, of course, I'm such a fan and a friend of the foundation myself. But I'm also here because of the girl who you just met, Sarah Jones. She's a very nice young black performer who works in the, she calls herself black, yeah. Well, she's really more like a caramel color if you look at the skin, personally.
but I don't want to say the wrong thing. But anyway, I think it's relevant because, of course, the foundation is known for its diversity, and I think it's wonderful. You know, I've lived in New York so many years. In my day, you couldn't have imagined, you know, a room full of people like this, all the different backgrounds working together. You know, it's like a rainbow, you know. I think it's okay to say rainbow. Anyway, I want to say how much I learn from this foundation, the work that they do, and that spirit of everybody comes to this work as an equal, as you've been hearing. It's no hierarchy where somebody's more important. This one's a big macher and has more money. This one's a small donor. We don't pay attention. Nothing like that. That's right. That's right. So whether you're a modest donor like me or whoever you are, or a grantee partner or one of the people in the community who benefits from the wonderful work, everybody's an equal team player, and I think that's so important. It really distinguishes this foundation. And I just want to tell you a little story. I told Sarah I wouldn't talk forever. But I'll give you a few examples because, you know, the grantee partners, it's so diverse, the work that they do. For example, the Domestic Workers United. This is a wonderful, that's right. That's right. This is such wonderful work they do, fighting for the rights of people to have dignity in their work. And I have to tell you, years and years ago, okay, before I learned about their struggle, I'll admit to you, I had my own preconceived ideas, let's say, and I had experience with a couple of caregivers in particular, both from the West Indies. One was named Joy and the other Patience, and I have to tell you, there wasn't anything joyful or patient about either one of these ladies. But I want you to know, after learning more about this struggle, you would be cranky too if you didn't have protection for your decent wages, decent hours, your agency mistreating you, all of this kind of thing. So I bring it up to say that the foundation not only supports the organizations themselves, but it fosters the connections that help us understand each other so we can work together. So I'm grateful personally, and, you know, like I said, I won't keep you, but there's so many wonderful organizations. When you go home, Google and read on the internet about all the things that my daughter helps me with. I do the internet. Anyway, you know, the technology, I used to say, oh, well, you know, I can't. In my day, listen, your laptop was just the place where you put your napkin. But it's very important that we stay current. It keeps you young. So anyway, my point is that, you know, I wish I could name them all, the wonderful organizations that the foundation supports. But just to name a few, the Women's Funding Network and the Girls for Gender Equity and the Literacy Partners, figure skating in Harlem. I mean, is there anything more wonderful? Anyway, my point is, whatever the organization, they're covering the gamut. You know, there's even a hot bread kitchen. If you don't know about this, they train women to become entrepreneurs, give them baking skills. I mean, can you imagine? It's just everything you can think of. These wonderful, innovative ideas are being supported. Although I have to admit, for me, the last thing I need is more hot bread. Those of you who can see from the side, you know what I'm talking about. But still, the spirit is there, and this is the impulse that's going to make the city stronger for the next 25 years. So I thank you. You are the future. It's so wonderful. I thought about that with little Soledad O'Brien's little 12-year-old. Imagine that, a 12-year-old board member. I thought to myself, I have candies in my purse older than 12 years old. But anyway, congratulations. Continue the wonderful work, and congratulations to all the honorees. May the success continue. Mazel tov. Mwah.
Hi. Okay. Good evening, everybody. I am very excited to be here right now. Okay. First of all, my name is Nereida, and okay, so I am very excited that there is such a diverse group of people here together, all of us, celebrating. So I just want to say not only good evening, but also saludos, damas y caballeros, y hermanas y hermanos en la lucha también, que estamos aquí juntos y es tan importante. Pero, okay, so, but I feel more comfortable in Spanish, but I really made the commitment that I would much rather speak English because that's a little bit better for me because I'm working on my public speaking skills right now. Anyway, so, okay. But I'm sorry, I'm just like, okay, so I just wanted to come up here to represent some of the same type of people who are benefiting from the work that the foundation is supporting, which is so important. And like me personally, I'm Dominican American, but actually you could say that I was born in the capital of Dominican Republic, otherwise known as Washington Heights, uptown. And okay, but actually that I am also half Puerto Rican, so I'm half and half, but I'm all proud of everything. And so anyway, that I just am very inspired by everything that I'm hearing and the celebration of everything that you guys are doing and everything like that, because like me personally right now, I am a sophomore in college right now, and I am studying human rights issues and also sustainability issues and also looking at gender issues. I got a lot of issues, that's what you could say. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be nervous right now. Whenever I get nervous, I start to talk really fast. Nobody can understand anything I'm saying. It's like so frustrating for me, as you can imagine. So I'll try to calm down, take a deep breath really quick. Okay. So, but anyway, so I just really want to thank you guys, on behalf of the communities that really do benefit from these programs that you are supporting and everything like that. That just, I know that there's a lot of organizations that focus on the Latino community, which is very important, like Vamos Unidos y Acción USA, Voces Latinas, and all of that. And so I could just say that I'm so grateful that you guys are there, because even me, when I was in high school, I had started my own organization. Sometimes you could feel like you're just so passionate about the issues and everything like that. So I had started my own organization. That was the name of it. I co-founded it. It was called The Bomb, and I know you guys have to forgive the acronym and everything because it was high school. But the BOM, it stands for Dominican American Benevolent Organization for Mothers and Babies. If you spell it out, you can see it. It says the BOM. And so it was so important because a lot of people, they don't realize the value of the voices of girls like me or women like me. And that was very important to me to put my own voice out there. So just to know that you are, are doing that work, it's so important, because for me, just to have that self-esteem and self-respect is so important for me, as I'm not only a student, I'm also a working mother. And for me to be working right now full-time, before I was an intern, but I was recently promoted. Thank you. Now I am the junior associate to the I'm the junior assistant to the associate director under the senior vice president for business development. It's taken me a while to get it together. So I know it's a lot. But so I just wanted to say that the fact that you guys are also interested in the same grassroots community, this is how we are going to make sure the city is more democratic for everybody. And that is so important because for me, just looking around in the community that I come from, for you guys to be placing so much value on diversity, to see that our diversity is strength. It's not something to pretend that it's not there or look like it's inferior or something like that. We are equal, and I need that reminder that, some people, even in my college or certain experiences that I will have, they will look at somebody like me and they think that, I can't become a professional or I cannot become an entrepreneur or something like that just because of my background or the fact that if I speak with an accent or something like that. And so I will remember you guys, whenever I'm feeling discouraged or something like that, I can add you into my affirmations, because whenever I'm, struggling with that, I will always remind myself to say the 3 little words that always make me feel better. Sotomayor, Sotomayor, Sotomayor. And it just feels so much better. Yeah. So, yeah. I know. Yeah. So now I'm going to add the New York Women's Foundation into that, my affirmations that I can say And I just want to thank you because, like, I believe, like, what we need in this city is the same thing that we need in the whole country. You know, like the same example that you guys are setting, that we need justice for all people. And I believe also, I'm not going to lie, especially I look at us as Latinos in this country, is like, you know, like we're about to be the majority. Hopefully in like 2 weeks. So, yes, yes. So I say that to say that I want us to have as much voice as anybody else in this democracy so that we can all participate, all have equality. So, muchísimas gracias a todos. I hope you will practice your Spanish. Okay, have a beautiful night.
Uh, Good evening. My name is Pauline Ling. I am part of the Chinese business community here in New York. But I start by saying that I have interest in the New York Women Foundation from two sides. First, it is my honor to be part of a special group of people who know that business alone, this does not make the city successful. Without people, without services, the city cannot only be finance, have to also have a heart. It has to also have people taken in consideration. And first, I just want to say that when this young lady was just speaking, that it was so fast. Just was so very fast. I started to feel heart palpitations and like little bit shortness of breath. But I think maybe she's just feeling nervous to speak, and I can relate to that because sometimes I don't. As an immigrant, I don't feel comfortable to speak in English in front of a group of people because some will make fun of a different accent. So I try to tell people, please at least wait until I tell the joke before you start to laugh. But I only want to speak very briefly about a different side of this diversity. That's why I also am interested in this New York Women's Foundation. But first, I give you my background. That my husband and I, we brought our son and daughter here in 1980s, around same time your organization is born. But we came here to have freedom that we cannot have in China at that time. And we try to teach our kids to be proud of their heritage, proud of their tradition. But it's hard. I speak Chinese to them. They always answer me back in English. My kids love the American pop culture, all those things. But when they get older, when the time comes for them to think about getting married, that's when I expect them to realize a little bit more their own culture. But that's where we have some problems. My son, he said he is not ready to get married. He had a sweetheart, but she is an American woman, not Chinese. It's not that it's bad, but I tell him, what's wrong with a Chinese woman? But I think he will change his mind soon. So then I decide I will concentrate on my daughter. But first she said she is not interested getting married She only wants to spend time with her friends. Then at college, it's like she never came home. She doesn't want me to come and visit. And I said, what's wrong in this picture? So I accused my daughter to have like a secret boyfriend. But she told me, Mom, you don't have to worry about boys because I don't like them. And I said, yes, men can be difficult. But all women have to get used to that. And she said, no, Mom, I mean, I don't like boys. I like girls. I am lesbian. So I always teach my kids respect American ideas. But I told my daughter, this is one exception. That she is not gay. She is just confused by this American culture problem. But she told me, Mom, it's not American. She said she is in love with a nice Chinese girl. So these are the words I am waiting to hear, but from my son, not my daughter. But at first, I did not know what to do. But over time, I came to understand this is who she is. So even though sometimes still hard, it helps me to realize this city it's more tolerant, usually because people like you, New York Women's Foundation, support the groups like Callan Lord Community Health Center that serve people like my daughter. And yes. And this New York City Gay and Lesbian Anti-Violence Project makes sure the city is safe for my daughter. So I thank you because you help to show all people have the rights to be who they are. So for my daughter's sake, and now I can say I have daughter-in-law and new grandson. So on behalf of our family, I can just thank you all for your support. 谢谢.
Good evening. I want to just start by saying what a great honor it is to be here. It's really a thrill. And my name is Praveen Mahajan. I want to first say that I am based here in the US for many years, but I am originally from India. It's wonderful to be part of the South Asian community who is here, part of this great feminist collective that we have here. Okay. Okay. And I am a human rights advocate. I am working for quite some time now in various humanitarian organizations. But the one I started with, it was based in Delhi in India. And in fact, that is how I met Sarah Jones when she was performing around the country. She's a very nice woman, a bit tall, but other than that, she fit in quite well. And we found that we had so much of things in common to discuss these gender-based issues that continue to be so challenging for some reason. I don't know what that is. But the main thing that I want to say, first of all, is that as some of you know, that when we are focused on these issues, at times we don't get to really have fun. So I'm having such a good time tonight. But in addition to that, I want to say I was not only excited when she told me we are coming here to New York, but also that I was relieved. because typically my work, it will take me to Washington, D.C., and there I must attend meetings, mingling with some politicians who are trying to make me feel comfortable by telling me how often they are eating the curry in Georgetown. Uh, but, uh, but my human rights work, it actually grew out of my passion for the history, and in particular, the often overlooked historical contributions of women. So I just want to say how grateful I am that the history is being kind of focused on tonight, and that we are acknowledging that this democratic social justice impulse, which created this kind of marvelous organization, this is an important part of the history of this city. I hope that you know that about yourselves. It's important. That's right. Absolutely. So tonight, as we celebrated and enjoyed the kind of abundance, right? This is a wonderful thing to celebrate, and the delicious hors d'oeuvres, my goodness. Did you try? I have to say, I thought that chicken meatball slider with the sheep's milk ricotta, truffle, and wild mushroom, it was out of this world. But anyway. But I also thought of the relatively modest beginnings of this idea, right, of bringing together the women of all means to solve the common problems of this city. And this idea, which Gloria Milliken and Helena Kelly Hunt and others, including Ginny Day, who was honored, this is so important. Don't forget Sean, okay? But for these women to help breathe life into this idea 25 years ago, this organization continues to thrive and grow and exponentially grow, as we heard. And it is so successful because it understands that an investment in women, right, and families, that is an investment in the city. It is the most important kind of investment you can make, okay? That is true. So, I will just quickly say that I know, like all of you in this room, we are not naive enough to think the problems that are plaguing this city and this country will just go away overnight, right? And as someone who is passionate about these issues, the kind that, the foundation is tackling that in so many creative ways. Funding the grantee partners like the Sanctuary for Families. What a great organization that is. They absolutely. The Voices Unbroken, which is working with girls who are incarcerated. The Muslim Women's Institute for Research and Development, right? We need these reminders that all women in this city are important voices, does not matter religion, does not matter background, does not matter income, right? So I say all of this to say that the kind of array of issues that we are facing, it can be daunting to look at that. And there are times when it's all I can do to get through the day. I mean, really. You know yourselves as activists and philanthropists and advocates, community members yourselves. I know many of you can relate to just feeling overwhelmed. But this constant pressure of kind of trying to do what you can in your own backyard and maintain all of those responsibilities, I will just tell you that I remember when I was in school, actually undergrad, I was carrying a full course load while trying to maintain my volunteer work. We were protesting. There was a rally, it seemed, every other week for something. And I remember all of this was happening while planning my wedding during exams. And my God. And by the way, this was a traditional Hindu marriage ceremony. So you just take whatever wedding planning challenges you can imagine, multiplied by about 5, and add elephants. And you can imagine the scope of this thing. I mean, really, it was unbelievable. Really. But it gives you gratitude, doesn't it? It gives you gratitude. But like all of you here, I was committed then, and I continue to be committed to just doing my part. And together, when we do that, that is when we move the mountain, right? So thank you all for all that you do. And please continue this great work, but also don't forget to have fun, to celebrate yourselves. Thank you for having me here and for throwing such a cracking good party.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just want to first of all just start by warning you that I need to take a really quick audience shot for my Tumblr. Hope you don't mind. Thank you so much. First of all, I just would like to say, my name is Bella, and this is an amazing opportunity for me to just be here with you guys, and I don't want to take up space from the amazing work that's being done here. So I just want to say that first of all, Sarah Jones had asked me if I would come here, and I was yeah, I personally, first of all, I met Sarah Jones because she came to a feminism workshop and seminar at my school. And I was yeah, that's really rad to make different women's voices all come out of one woman. And so I'm very interested in that idea of pluralism within feminism. And I totally agree with you. So I just want to say that for me, that pluralism totally includes multi-generational conversations. And this shirt that I'm wearing, the quotation says eroticize equality, which is a quotation from Gloria Steinem. And that's so multi-generationally awesome to me that I feel I was born into this because my mom is a feminist, and my name Bella, I was named for Bella Abzug, who's also a very important feminist from history. And I just feel that I get to be a bridge just by standing here right now with you guys. And I just want to say that this amazing work that you're doing, I feel so privileged, and I learned so much, and I'm so grateful that I didn't even understand when I first started learning about feminism and cross-cultural conversations. I used to also think of myself as a person of color, except that it was sort of a pinkish beige color, but that on a continuum of a spectrum. But now I understand about hierarchy and power dynamics of race. And I want to be an ally. I want to be what all of you have been for so many years, before I was born. So I just want to thank you, and I want to also just share that I love the open spirit that I feel here, that you all are so welcoming, and so many different ideas are just everywhere. And I just wish my mom were here, because her feminism and my feminism, they can coexist. I sometimes hear her why do you have to talk like that? And it's talk what? Oh, why your sentences don't go down at the end? And it's I don't have to talk a certain way to be a feminist. And I believe that just you all reach out across all the different barriers, we can totally not only have respect across for women and the dudes who love and respect them, all 5 of you guys out there. I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. No, but I just think that we get to have a loving, respectful conversation across not only race and gender and orientation and ability and class, but also across the vocal ranges. And that's gonna mean more to the movement to keep strengthening the work you do. So I just wanna thank you guys for welcoming everyone and not being so restrictulous, which is that's a word that I had to invent to explain to my mother that she's being so strict. It's ridiculous. So thank you guys so much. You're all amazing. I hope you have like an amazing rest of the night. Thank you so much. Solidarity.